Hi, my name is Howard. Welcome to EcoCar Florida. With the way gas prices are right now, I know a lot of people are going to start looking for alternatives in order to deal with the pain at the pump, and you're looking for affordability. Um, Electric vehicles have now reached price parity with gasoline vehicles, both in the used and the new market. And what I'm going to do today is give you an example of cars within the used market segments that can fill a daily commuter need. Not really long distance traveling, but just daily commuter needs. And my recommendations are just my pick. It's just to show that the price points themselves are no longer out of reach for the average person, but it's more now your use case scenario is going to dictate what kind of vehicle that you're going to want to purchase, and the price point itself is now within reach of you, the average consumer. Now, for me, starting out driving electric vehicles, um, I had to have an understanding of what my use case is going to be or was going to be at the time. And for me, leaving home, going to work, and coming back was one of those important factors because 90% of my day was at work, and my daily commuting took up all of my driving time. So I didn't do any form of long distance driving. My long distance driving was probably done probably about once or twice a year, but now it's turned into probably about once every 3 years. So commuting needs, I have found, has to become more important than long distance trips. And if you're doing daily commuting in that scenario, which your daily commute is less than 40 miles round trip per day, then an electric vehicle itself would actually suit your needs. So I'm going to start off with the one of the first generation vehicles that came to market, which was the Nissan Leaf, and that was the first generation Nissan Leaf. It's this one right here. So this is the ugly duckling that first came to market, and only a mother would love it. But the use case for this vehicle is very good. So if you have a 20-mile commute, round trip commute from, let's say, your home to work and back, or let's say from home to school and back, this vehicle can suit your needs. It's a four-door, four-seater that has from ample space in terms of head and leg room. If you're on the taller side, then this may not be the vehicle for you. But just doing runabout city commuting, this vehicle itself would actually meet the need. And what you will find on the used market is that some of these vehicles are under the $5,000 price points. Whereas if you go to like Facebook Marketplace, you might even be able to find a Nissan Leaf in your area for like $1,500. Now, the thing about this vehicle, and is something that mustn't be overlooked, is the battery health. Now, this vehicle, when it first came to market, had what is called an air cool system. And because it had an air cool system, it was prone to battery degradation. So you would need to pay attention to the battery state of health. If you're purchasing it from someone, you I would always recommend asking for the battery state of health because there are now a number of third-party applications out there that can actually tell you the state of health for this vehicle's battery. It has ample trunk space, but like I said, it is a commuter car and probably one of the best commuter cars under the $5,000 price point if you're just looking for that beta car to do something specific, and you don't have to worry about oil change, you don't have to worry about a tune up, you don't have to worry about any mechanical disadvantages that you would have or stressing over in a gasoline vehicle under $5,000 price point. And there is also the second generation Nissan Leaf. Now, when this vehicle was first introduced around 2016, 2017, it came with two battery pack sizes, and that is a 40 kilowatt battery that would give you a 150-mile driving range, and a second battery, which was a 62 kilowatt, that would have given you a 220-mile driving range. The first generation Leaf had what was at the time was a 24 kilowatt battery pack with only 100 miles driving range. So these batteries were basically one of the first on the market, excluding the Tesla Roadster when it was introduced. But these were considered commuter cars and basically can fill those short run around the city or run around your county range. So if you're looking for a modern day car that didn't look ugly and didn't stand out, then the second generation Nissan Leaf would basically look to fill your need. Number of these vehicles can be found for under $10,000 on the used market, and it would be the equivalent to a Toyota Corolla in that same price point. The only difference is no oil change, no filter change, no need for a mechanic in that regards. Uh, you will find that some of these vehicles may still be on their first set of brake pads because regen braking was very good in these vehicles. So there, that cost itself is also minimal to you. I would recommend that you check it, but that cost itself is going to be minimal to you because some of these cars didn't use their brake pads, and your regen braking is something that you would have to get used to, and you will find a benefit to that. The third car on my list is the Chevy Bolt EV. This vehicle was introduced around 2016, 2017, and it is probably one of the best commuter cars in the used market, I would say, for the amount of money that you're spending, because some of these vehicles are well under $7,000, and you will get roughly about a 230-mile driving range with these cars. They may look small on the outside, but they have ample room on the inside. So you have this vehicle. Now, in relation to the battery for this car, it came with a 66 kilowatt battery, which in reality, you were only using like 62 kilowatts of it, which would give you roughly about a 230-mile driving range. And for the money, it's really it's a good buy if this is the type of car that you're looking for, right? And this would be comparable, let's say, to a Toyota. No, yeah, it would be comparable to um, the Chevy Trax. It's basically the electric version of the Chevy Trax in this regard, and at a very good price point for under $10,000. The next car up on the market is the Tesla Model 3. And the reality of it is that the Model 3, when it was first introduced in 2017, 2018, yeah, it was very pricey. But now, after the depreciation, everything has set in, you can find some Model 3s for well under $15,000. Now, if you want to, let's say if you're a real estate agent, and let's say your daily commute is going to cover roughly about anywhere between 100 to 150 miles, going to different locations, different site, this car would actually suit your needs if you're starting out. And if you're looking for a second car, this vehicle itself would actually meet your needs. And the charging infrastructure itself for this car is now all over the place. And it's easy to use. It's basically a plug and play. And even if you don't like the CEO of this company, the reality of it is that it's a good car for the money that you're spending if you want a sedan. And you will find that it's not out of reach for the average person, because basically some of these prices will match even a Toyota Camry Hybrid LE on price point, and you still are not paying for gas. You're still not doing any oil changes. You don't need to go to a dealership consistently. Now, as it relates to purchasing it, I would always recommend purchasing a car directly from Tesla itself, because if the car is outside of the warranty, the person that you bought it from or the dealership that you bought it from may not want to help you with it. But this is to give you an idea that a Tesla with a 250-mile driving range is out there on the market and you can afford it. The next vehicle up on my list is the Tesla Model Y. Um, I own one. I love mine, and you can find them for under $25,000, even on Tesla's website. Now, even if you don't like Tesla, and there's a lot of people out there that you genuinely don't like Tesla, the only car that I would recommend that would be in comparison to this vehicle is a Volkswagen ID4. Now, the Volkswagen ID4 was introduced roughly in 2021, and it it has been hit with a lot of depreciation for the car when it first came to market. But the reality of it is that you're getting a whole lot of car for the money that you're spending, right? This vehicle has a 250-mile driving range for an SUV type vehicle. It has a lot of leg room, right? And the DC fast charging itself is very good, right? It is it is my best recommendation because I still have mine and I love it to this day. But if you're not a Tesla fan person, or your political point of views doesn't align with what Tesla is doing, I would say take a look at the Volkswagen ID4 or the Mustang Mach E, or the next best thing to that would have been that I can actually recommend, in all honesty, is the Ioniq 5. Those are pretty comparable cars to the Model Y. Now, in the new market segment, the reality is that many of the prices have gone up for many vehicles right now on the market. And even if you're looking at new, Tesla is the best price to performance vehicle on the market. And here on Tesla's website, the cheapest vehicle for the Model Y is now starting at under $40,000. And you generally cannot beat it based on the price to performance by any other car company out there that's producing it. It's the same for the Model 3 if you prefer a sedan. The base model sedan at its cash price is starting way below $40,000, and you're looking at a $36,000 price point for this vehicle. Right? And if you want to know what your ranges are, you want to know how far that you can travel, or have an idea of what your commute would look like, here on Tesla's website, you can use a trip planner, pick a location that you want. You will see that there's a lot of Tesla superchargers. So let us say that if you live in an apartment complex right here within Broward County, then there are charging stations you can go to and charge. And I'm going to have to do a video on the state of public charging here within the Southeast Florida region, because it has improved significantly over time, and the map is increasing more and more as it goes along. Because what you're looking at now is all of the charging stations within Broward County going into Miami-Dade County. There are charging stations all over the place. Now, is public charging cheap? No. If you would have to search through and find the best location that is near to you to determine whether or not the price point of charging is worth it for you. But in today's market, an electric vehicle itself is within price parity of a gasoline vehicle. Now, if you do your own research, you will basically come across the different prices for new vehicles, you're going to see that you're going to see basically they're roughly the same. So it's no longer a rich person's toy. It's now down, even in it's now down to the average consumer. It's now within reach of the average consumer. And any fears that you have, there are large communities out there with different electric vehicle groups within social media. You can do a number of YouTube reviews to find that these cars may suit your needs based on your use case that you would have, and the out of pocket expense is not as high as it once was. So, yeah, that's basically it. If you want to have an understanding of what that cost to charge the electric vehicle is, I would tell you take a look at your FPL bill, and you will see what the actual charge cost is to you. Because if you take a look at your electricity bill, you will find that on average, the home residential cost to actually charge is going to come out to about 14 cents per kilowatt. And that's after the first thousand, I'm sorry, that's after your first 1,000 kilowatt that you're using in your home. But if you're using less than 1,000 kilowatts, then you are actually lowering the cost to anywhere between 8 to 10 cents per kilowatt. And you will find that it is much cheaper to charge your car at home than it is to basically put gas in your car. Now, the caveat is that you would need to install a charging station at your home. And that is something that I would have to go more in depth later on, because you can calculate the return on investment, and you will still find that even if you install a charging station, let's say for a cost of $1,100, you can make the return on investment within a 6 to 8 month period of owning your electric vehicle. Right? So, like, share, subscribe, and keep up to date with me, and I'll bring you more information about electric vehicles here in South Florida.